Recharging electric bikes using solar. Most of the riding I do is on my e-bike out in the wilderness. I'd like to be able to extend that to multi-day journeys, but in order to do that I need the ability to roll out a solar panel and recharge in the bush. To that end, I've bought a couple of solar chargers to test. One is a Victron SmartSolar, the other one is a Renogy Rover Boost. The most critical thing is the charger needs to let you configure the absorption or boost voltage. That is the maximum voltage that it will charge the battery to. This is really critical for lithium-ion batteries. Both of the solar chargers that I bought have a Bluetooth interface that lets you configure these parameters. My bike has a nominally 48 volt battery, so the maximum absorption voltage that I've set in these controllers is about 54.6 or 54.4 volts, which corresponds to 4.2 volts per string of lithium-ion cells. Both the Victron and the Renogy controller both have really nice apps available that communicate with controller via Bluetooth. The Victron has a Bluetooth interface integrated to the charger. The Renogy didn't, but you can buy the Bluetooth interface that plugs directly into the RS485 interface of that controller. Really, the key difference between the two chargers I've bought is the boost. The Victron controller doesn't have a voltage boost, so I need solar panels that have at least 60 volts of output, whereas the Renogy controller does have the voltage boost, which provides more flexibility in terms of what solar panels I can use, because it will automatically step that voltage up to what I have configured. What that means in practical terms is many of the really nice fold-out solar blankets are either 12 or 24 volts. So using the Renogy controller with the voltage boost lets me use one of those. Really nice for folding that up for bikepacking. Whereas the Victron controller doesn't have the voltage boost, so really the only solution I could find was these kind of large rigid solar panels that were each about 36 volts. I've run my bike down to about 50% charge, so let's give these two systems a quick side-by-side comparison. Just noting that there is a bit of smoke haze today, so conditions aren't perfect. So that's the fold-out solar blanket I'm using with the Renogy controller. The panel is nominally 300 watts, although that's just the marketing gaff. In practice I get a little bit less than 200 watts out of it in ideal conditions. In these conditions I'm getting about 130 watts into the battery. I do often see that around 150, 160 watts. Anyway, let's give the other setup a spin and see what it's delivering. So each pair of fold-out panels is nominally 60 watts, so nominally 120 watts solar capacity total. In practice right now I'm getting 90 to 100 watts out of it. That's pretty good, really. In practice, the higher voltage aluminium framed solar panels I was using with the Victron controller are just too bulky to be able to cart around on the bike. But if you want to take the solar panels with you, then really the fold-out solar blanket is the only practical solution. Noting I couldn't find a convenient way to hang them anywhere off the bike, so I opted to use a trailer for my bike packing, and the solar panels fit in with other equipment, fit into the trailer. Having the trailer is a bit cumbersome, but on the flip side it means that you've got plenty of room to take the camping equipment that you need. One other thing to note is the Renogy controller is probably 8 times the size of the Victron controller. It's definitely more bulky, and I put it in the container with the solar panel. I did try this whole setup in practice on an overnight trip to the Kosciuszko National Park, and it worked just like I hoped it would. The solar e-biking does bring some constraints in that you need to make sure you've got a hike or swimming or something that you're planning on doing during the day while the bike is recharging. I guess a good pattern would be to ride for a few hours in the morning, then set up camp and let the bike recharge of an afternoon, or the inverse, whatever suits your style. I hope there's been something here that's of interest to you. Thanks for watching.